Hello all, welcome back. So today we can check Odoo Test Cases. So what's a test case? A test case is a piece of code that checks whether your code works correctly. So it defines three parts: input, expected output and the assertion. So input means what data or conditions you give in your code, and expected output what result you expect from the input, and the assertion. So assertion a check that compares the actual result with the expected result. For example, here you can see I have added a function called add, and that has two parameters a and b, and it returns a plus b. So below you can see the test function test_add, and in the result I am calling that function and adding a parameter 2 and 3. So after that I am checking the result is equal to 5 using the assert, because 2 plus 3 which will be 5 only. So that result is true or false, that we are checking using the assert. So in our Odoo, this is the structure. Like in our module, we will add a folder called test. Why we are adding a folder called test for test cases? All the test code is separated from our production code if we use this specific folder, and Odoo will automatically identify or discover the test cases inside the test folder. Also, like, it will avoid polluting the production code, and all the test logic we will keep in our test folder. So this is the test file structure. Inside the test folder we will add the init file and the test files. So test files name should be start with the test underscore, then only the Odoo framework or unit test framework will discover the test files automatically. So this is the test function. Odoo and Python unit test discovers the test files automatically if they start with the test underscore. Similarly, test method inside the file must start with the test underscore. So this tells Odoo this method is a test, please run it. Method without test underscore are ignored. So what are the cases? Like, we have to create a folder called test, and the files inside that folder starts with the test underscore, and the function is also start with test underscore. Now how to create a test cases in Odoo? So to create a test case we have to use some classes, we have to import some classes. So transaction case, Odoo provides base classes for writing tests. The most common is the transaction case. Each test runs in a database transaction. At the end of the test, Odoo rolls back all changes, so your test never affect real data. So good for all model level test checking, like a create function, write function, etc. We can use this transaction case. And other common test classes are HTTP case, we have SavePoint case. Also HTTP case are using for controllers, HTTP requests and APIs. And SavePoint case, like suppose if we have lots of transaction and we want to the test faster, then we will use the SavePoint case. Okay, now what is assert? Assert is how you check whether the expected result matches the actual result. So that we already talked. And here you can see one function def test add, and I have assigned result equal to calling the add function and passing the parameters 2 and 3. Then I am calling self.assert equal result and 3. So what it will do, it will check if the result equals to the 3. If true, the test passes, and if false, then the test fails. Odoo will show a message assertion error. So we have more assert functions to check different conditions, like assert not equals, that will check two values are not equal. Then assert 2, it check if condition is true, and assert fault, check if condition is fault. Assert raises, check if code raise an exception. So we have lots of assert methods for the test cases. Now the test case flow. So this is the test case flow. Like we have a setup class that we are using to create the data, and we can create as many as test methods, and for in that method, like we will use the assert to check the result. And last, after all the test cases, Odoo will automatically roll back every transactions. And how to run the test cases. So to run the test cases and verify in our local, we can use one command while running the instance. So this is the command test enable -d, our database name. So what it will do, it will run all the test cases in our Odoo, including our custom and the default test cases. So if we have to check our own test cases, like the test cases inside a module, our custom module, then what we can do, we can use this -test and -tags and our module name. So that will only run all the test cases in our module. Okay, so now we can practically check how we can create a test case in Odoo. So here you can see I have created a custom module called sale_test, and it has only one folder called models, and inside the sale order function, a sale order class, I have added a function. This is a custom function. So this is the function that will just return num1 plus num2. So whatever function you write in your custom class, we can test using the test case. So what we have to do, as per Odoo standard, we have to create a folder called test, and inside that test we need two files. One is the init file and one is the test file. So test file should start with the test underscore. I'm just giving test sale order, and in the init I have to call that. Okay, so this is our test file. So first we have to import the transaction case. So in Odoo, like if you search the transaction case, then you will get how to import this transaction case. Okay, I have imported the transaction case. Now I have to create a class test sale order, and I am inheriting from the transaction case. Okay, now we have created the class, and next is we have to create the setup function and call the super method. Okay, why we need function? We have already talked, like to create the transactions. So here I am not going to create any transaction. Like to test this, we need a sale order record. So for that I am just assigning a sale order record to a variable called sale order rec. So here I am using self.tnv sale order dot search. So I just need one record. Here I am taking the first record. So in my database there are lots of sale orders, so I am just taking one record to test the function. Okay, so I have taken the sale order. Now we have to create another function to test the this function, add number function. So I'm giving the name as test add number. Okay, now what we have the sale order record, and what we have to check, the add number function. So I'm just calling the sale order and calling the add num function and passing two parameters. One is 5 and another one is 4. Here we can already define the expected expected result will be 5 plus 4 equal to 9, and this we can assign to a actual result. Okay, now we have expected result, now we have actual result. Now we have to check using the assert. So I'm using assert equal, my first parameter is the expected result, or I'm checking actual result is equal to the expected result. Okay, now we have added the test folder, the test file, the test function, and I'm just upgrading my module. Okay, the module is loaded. Then we have to check the test is working fine or not. For that, I'm just adding test enable, then test tags. My module name is sail_test. So this is how we have to test the test functions. Okay, there is one error, sailor object has no attribute, add num. Okay, the function name is add numbers, so we have to give the correct function name. Then again we are restarting the server. Yes, there is a spelling mistake, assert equal, and I'm again restarting. Okay, so the modules are loaded. We cannot see anything here. Why? Because the test case is passing, and if I change, if I change the expected result and running again, yes, then we have a error called assertion error 9 not equal to 10. Why? Because the actual result we are getting is 9, because we have passed 5 and 4, and 10 is our expected result. So this is how we will write the test cases and test in our locals. Why we have to write the test cases? This is an automated test. So usually what we will do, we will create whatever functions, and we will go to the Odoo front end and check that is working fine or not. And what difference is, that is manually we have to go to Odoo interface and check. This will be automatic test. Also, the benefit of a test case is, today I have written this function and I have added this test cases and it is running fine, and tomorrow other person working in our code and change something, and if something goes wrong, then the test will not work, test will fail. So that time they can understand that something is wrong, so we have to check that. So that's it. Thank you.